President Trump with Nigeria's President, Muhammadu Buhari. Trump urged Nigeria and other African nations to support a bid to bring soccer's World Cup to North America in 2026. Brenner, The New York Times. For the second time in a week, President Trump on Monday urged other countries to support the North American bid to host the 2026 World Cup and again implied there might be consequences for those who did not. The comments, made during a news conference in the Rose Garden, raised new questions about whether Mr. Trump's input constitutes political interference in the bidding process, which could jeopardize the joint bid by the United States, Mexico and Canada. In remarks about international trade while meeting with the Nigerian President, Muhammadu Buhari, at the White House, Mr. Trump said, "I hope, all African countries and countries throughout the world, that we also will be supporting you and that they will likewise support us in our bid along with Canada and Mexico for the 2026 World Cup." Trump asks for support from Nigeria and all African countries in the Canada-Mexico-United States bid for the 2026 World Cup. Trump praised the bid on Twitter, adding remarks that some observers construed as a veiled threat. The U.S. has put together a strong bid with Canada and Mexico for the 2026 World Cup. It would be a shame if countries that we always support were to lobby against the U.S. bid. Why should we be supporting these countries when they don't support us, including at the United Nations? The U.S. has put together a strong bid with Canada. It would be a shame if countries that we always support were to lobby against the U.S. bid. Why should we be supporting these countries when they don't support us, including at the United Nations? Donald J. Trump, at Real Donald Trump, April 26, 2018. FIFA, global soccer's governing body, declined to comment on the Twitter post. A FIFA spokesman, however, did point to its pre-existing rules of conduct, which warn governments of bidding nations not to participate in activities that may adversely affect the integrity of the bidding process and create an undue influence on the bidding process. The host of the 2026 World Cup will be named June 13, a day before the opening match of the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Even before Mr. Trump's remarks, the North American bid was not considered a lock against its only rival, the North African nation of Morocco, even though the United States has an abundance of large stadiums and, in 1994, sold more tickets than any World Cup before or since. Geopolitics always come into play when selecting hosts for the largest international sporting events, the World Cup and the Olympics. And Mr. Trump is unpopular internationally, in part because of his travel ban on residents from several predominantly Muslim nations and because of his reported vulgar remarks about accepting immigrants from developing countries, including those in Africa. From his remarks about the World Cup, it is not clear that Mr. Trump understands the process of how a host country is chosen. Governments don't vote, but rather top officials in the world's 207 national soccer federations. FIFA explicitly warns governments not to interfere in soccer-related matters, and it has suspended countries from international soccer for violations of those rules. Morocco has the public support of the Confederation of African Football, which includes 50-plus national federations, and backing from European federations like France, Russia and Belgium. A corruption scandal related to the awarding in the 2018 and 2022 World Cups led to changes in how World Cup hosts are chosen. Instead of a small committee making the decision, each of FIFA's member federations will vote, with its choice made public, at the meeting in Moscow in June. A version of this article appears in print on May 1, 2018, on page B10 of the New York edition with the headline, "Trump pushes again for 2026 World Cup."